OpenAI whistleblowers call for an SEC probe into NDAs. Senators introduce a bill to protect artists from unauthorized AI use. And a new spacesuit design borrowed from Frank Herbert's Dune novels. It's Monday, July 15th, and this is Engadget News. OpenAI's NDAs are once again under scrutiny after whistleblowers penned a letter to the SEC alleging that employees are made to sign illegally restrictive agreements, preventing them from speaking out on the potential harms of the company's technology. The letter, which was obtained and published online by the Washington Post, accuses OpenAI of violating SEC rules meant to protect employees' rights to report their concerns to federal authorities and prevent retaliation. It follows an official complaint that was filed with the SEC in June. In that letter, the whistleblowers asked the SEC to take swift and aggressive steps to enforce the rules they say OpenAI has violated. The alleged violations include making employees sign agreements that failed to exempt disclosures of securities violations to the SEC and requiring employees obtain consent from the company before disclosing confidential information to the authorities. The letter also says OpenAI's agreements required employees to waive compensation that was intended by Congress to incentivize reporting and provide financial relief to whistleblowers. In a statement to the Post, OpenAI spokesperson Hannah Wong said, "Our whistleblower policy protects employees' rights to make protected disclosures," and added that the company has made important changes to its offboarding papers to do away with non-disparagement terms. OpenAI previously said it was fixing these agreements after it was accused this past spring of threatening to claw back exiting employees' vested equity if they did not sign NDAs on their way out. According to the Washington Post, the SEC has responded to the complaint, but no details have yet been released regarding any action it is or is not going to take. 3 U.S. senators introduced a bill that aims to rein in the rise and use of artificial intelligence-generated content and deepfakes by protecting the work of artists, songwriters, and journalists. The Content Original Protection and Integrity from Edited and Deepfaked Media, or COPIED Act, was introduced by the Senate Friday. The bill is a bipartisan effort authorized by Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell of Washington, and Democratic Senator Martin Heinrich of New Mexico. If enacted, the COPIED Act would create transparency standards through the National Institutes of Standards and Technology to set guidelines for content provenance information, watermarking, and synthetic content detection. The bill would also prohibit the unauthorized use of creative or journalistic content to train AI models or created AI content. The Federal Trade Commission and state attorneys general would also gain the authority to enforce these guidelines on individuals who had their legally created content used by AI to create new content without their consent or proper compensation would also have the right to take those companies or entities to court. The bill would even expand the prohibition of tampering or removing content provenance information by Internet platforms, search engines, and social media companies. A slew of content and journalism advocacy groups are already voicing their support for the COPIED Act to become law. They include groups like SAG-AFTRA, the Recording Industry Association of America, the National Association of Broadcasters, the Songwriters Guild of America, and the National Newspaper Association. The life of an astronaut may sound like a glamorous career, but it does require a lot of hard work and sacrifice. They have to spend weeks or even months at a time away from Earth, their loved ones, and the warm embrace of gravity. They also have to endure an endless stream of tang jokes. Sometimes they even have to drink recycled wastewater. We say Sometimes, because not every drop of astronaut urine is recycled into palatable water, the urine they expel into their spacesuits is simply flushed away or discarded when they return to the spacecraft. A new spacesuit designed by scientists at Weill Cornell Medicine and Cornell University, inspired by Frank Herbert's Dune novels, could make spacewalks longer and less disgusting by recycling their expelled urine in a special filtration backpack. The research and design teams from both schools published a paper of their findings in the scientific journal Frontiers. These suits are referred to as still suits in the Dune universe and can capture moisture to recycle it into drinkable water as soldiers trek and battle across the barren desert world of Arrakis. The real-life proposed still suits do roughly the same thing. The new still suits have a vacuum-based external catheter leading to a combined forward-reverse osmosis unit that astronauts carry on their back. The suits were designed with future NASA space missions in mind, including the Artemis II and Artemis III missions that will orbit the moon and touch down on its south pole in the next 2 years. NASA and Axiom Space have already approved a spacesuit design for its moon missions, but it looks like this new filtration system could be added to them. The still suits can also be used for the manned Mars space mission in the early 2030s. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and additional articles at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from weekend editor Cheyenne McDonald and contributor Danny Gallagher and was voiced and produced by me, Steve White, from Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.